Alright, fuck it, no skit, no bit, let's just get right into the game. Sons of the Forest is a survival horror game that was released to the public on February 23rd of 2023. The game was developed and published by Night Games, the same company that made the previous game to the franchise, The Forest. I'm gonna be completely honest right now, like hot take alert right here, I very much disliked The Forest. I felt as if the entire game was just incomplete, with textures and graphics that looked incredibly horrid and outdated, gameplay that felt dull and monotonous due to the time-consuming resource gathering, and doing the exact same thing of going to one cave to retrieve one item that lets you go to another cave to retrieve another item that'll let you go to another cave, rinse and repeat. On top of that, the bugs within the game at first were really funny with collision issues and whatnot, but that honeymoon phase of enjoying the brokenness quickly faded away as the bugs became more and more game-breaking. I made a video on The Forest a couple months ago, so maybe check that out, you know, little plug right there. But anyways, with me not liking The Forest, you would probably believe that my expectations for the sequel would be extremely low, but that was actually quite the opposite. When I saw the gameplay review by IGN in January, I was utterly fascinated by how the game looked, how the building was presented as it was completely overhauled, how the enemies worked, how even the AI companions that were discussed in the reveal made me head over heels and beyond excited to see a redemption arc from Night Games, and for them to release a good survival game that I could play for days on end. Oh, how a fool I was. Simply put, I do not like this game. I played Sons of the Forest for a little less than 20 hours for about 4 days in a row. I completed the game, got both endings. Hell, I even returned back after beating the game to see if I could build any more buildings and items, or find anything else in the map with my friends. And even then, the only thing keeping me going and playing the game was the friends I was playing with. Of course, not everything in the game I disliked. In fact, I do think that Sons of the Forest is better than the first release, and because of that, I won't order this video by like discussing the story and then the gameplay like how I do in my videos normally. Instead, I'll just list off what I do like about the game and then discuss all that I dislike. There will be spoilers about the story, but I'll make sure to tell you guys when I am spoiling the game. So with that said, sit back, relax, and watch as I discuss my thoughts on Sons of the Forest while also having my arm chewed out by a cannibal. Ow! Fucking John, stop that. The graphics. I can't compare Sons of the Forest with The Forest in terms of graphics. That's like if I compared two food dishes, with one dish being covered in like filet mignon, lobsters, scallops, and a little hint of that really expensive thin gold leaf on top of it all, and then that other dish is just, you know, just shit on a plate. Sons of the Forest is hands down the best looking game that I have ever played. The attention to detail is utterly mind-blowing. Like, the higher you climb the mountain of the island, the wind gets heavier and pushes the trees more and more. The look of the wood getting chopped as you can actually see your axe genuinely cutting different parts of the tree. Even the looks of the other NPCs and enemies look so much better and didn't have that little shiny look to them. It was all fucking gorgeous. And if you have gotten so far in the game in which you have seen the snow and the snowfall, with like the little glistening snow on the ground and the lakes being frozen over just to walk on, oh my god, it's just gorgeous. I'm also shocked that this game was created on the Unity engine, as this genuinely looks like something that would be developed on like the Unreal 5 engine, or just something that's monumentally better than Unity. The enemies. I really enjoyed the enemies of Sons of the Forest. I think they were all fairly unique. You still have different tiers of cannibals and mutants like in the first game. Like, starting out with the game, you're mostly just gonna face a bunch of feral cannibals that aren't in a tribe, but as you play the game, more sophisticated and armored enemies will attack you, with mutants as well attacking wherever your base is located. I like how the tougher cannibals are now wearing bones or flesh from their enemies or victims, and whatever they find on the island. Even seeing one of the cannibals using a motor engine from a boat as a weapon was so cool to see. The mutants were also really cool to see and to take on. I kind of expected the game to have reused and recycled mutants, but I didn't see any recycled ones. You have Finger Gina who rushes at you, Mr. Fat-Ass McGee who will one-tap you in a heartbeat, a Spider-Man type enemy, even though whatever the fuck mutant that is looks really cool and terrifying too. I also like how the enemies act and react. I've seen some climb trees to avoid me killing them jumping out of bushes to ambush you as you walk across the island. How they even get one of them to distract you as the others surround you to kill you is so fucking neat. Also, when you die on the surface, you respawn back in a cannibal camp, tied up and being prepared for tonight's dinner. It's cool how you have to escape and retrieve your items instead of just respawning in your bed like the first game. So all in all, I absolutely love loved how the games acted in the first game. I'm glad they're even better in the second. I do wish that there were new threats in the game, like hostile enemies, like a bear or something like that, not just a shark. Maybe mutant animals as well, that would be so fucking cool to see. Or maybe other survivors on the island that are just like you, but are hostile towards you just because they don't know how to act towards you. They think everybody's a threat, but it's whatever, I guess. Crafting and building. I was iffy on the building portion, I'm not gonna lie, but in comparison to the first game, I like it so much better. When you're building, you still have an option to place down set blueprints in which you have to gather a certain amount of resources to fully complete it, but there's also an option just to place down logs, sticks, rocks to create whatever building you want to. You can also now cut logs into planks to place down, as well as being able to shorten the log to increase the vast options of buildings that you can make. The options of what you can cut is a little hard to detect for the game. There were some moments that I was trying to find the perfect angle to cut the logs into spikes, but I was ultimately just repositioning myself for up to a minute at a time. Crafting is cool too. I like how easier it is to know your materials that you can use to combine with one another due to the whole gray out feature, plus the added feature of seeing you actually craft the items, or frankly seeing you use items in your inventory, is such a cool, well thought out feature. The companions. I am placing this in both the positive and negative area of the game. I do like Kelvin to a degree. I like how he's able to build a resting place, or is able to gather resources that you need to build with. It makes chopping down trees hours at a time so much easier. And Virginia is cool too, I guess. I don't know exactly what she does after you tame her and give her your weapons. I think she's supposed to defend your base, but she doesn't do a good job at that. I do like though how to tame her and how she trusts you more and more as the days go on, and she's also a baddie. The companions. This is the negative part of the video now. Okay, so I think I can say I like the concept of the companions in the game, but the actual companions sucked very much. Kelvin, although doing what you tell him to do, he likes to at random moments just chill out by a fire for less than 20 seconds, and then will get up to continue the activity. I know he was presented to be a companion that has a certain needs and wants, but that immersion quickly fades away when he doesn't eat, doesn't drink, has unlimited health unless you yourself kills him, and he just sits there and rests. His pathfinding really sucks as well. Just take a look at this clip and you'll see what I mean. And that's the same with Virginia. Her pathfinding sucks, but like I said earlier, I don't know what she does. I mean, yeah, she can sometimes defend or scavenge the area, but that's a very few and far between activity I've seen with her. I also don't like how even if you instruct them not to, both companions will eventually roam the map with you. So giving them tasks to do after you return from a journey is impossible, as they are just very, very, very slowly returning back to base. That's great. The map. So in the gameplay review by IGN, the new island of Sons of the Forest was presented to be 5 times the size of the peninsula of the first game. And that's cool and all, except it's not. In my video discussing the gameplay reveal of the game, I discussed my worries about how a bigger island could mean the ruins of previous victims being spread out more and more, making the actual island a bore to traverse. And surely enough, I was completely right. In fact, I'm more than right. A lot of the ruins in the map are very, very boring. Many of them are just abandoned camps or helicopter crashes, with the actual points of interest that you were required to go to are just portions of the underground facility that looks exactly like the facility in the first game. And boy, even though these spots are already not interesting, they're all spread out throughout the map so obnoxiously. Most of the gameplay that I recorded was just me and my friends walking from point A of the island to point B. I actually spent more time walking than I did actually exploring the points of interest. I would have not cared about this if the actual forest was an interesting place to look at too, but it's genuinely the same throughout the entire island. There's no special place other than the mountain that helps signify where you're at, or even why you should care to look at this already beautiful scenery. Oh, and to spice things up a little more, you can also retrieve the GPS trackers of all your fallen soldiers who's entered the island with you. Those spots are even more one note, and fun fact too, but I think every time that you load into your world, some of the trackers respawn, making these icons permanent on your GPS. By the way, another fun fact, but this is the same for every single item that you pick up in the game, so the problem of finding food, water, or medicine, even though that's not been a problem, since item spawning is so generous and the loss of food, water, or rest does absolutely nothing to your health but instead to your max stamina, is completely gone when you can just leave the game and join back. The sound. The The caves. The caves are incredibly dull. If you've ever played The Forest and experienced that game's caves, you've experienced Sons of the Forest's caves. It's just a simple labyrinth that has very strong mutants, dark lighting, and 1 to 2 new items that'll either let you go through another cave, or it just gives you a new weapon. It's also very funny that there are very clear spots of where bats are supposed to be triggered, or where audio is supposed to be triggered. It's great because most of, if not all, are broken, and will repeat over and over again when you walk over it. There's nothing new added to this caves. Nothing at all. And in a game where you're supposed to be traveling from cave to cave before reaching endgame, everything becomes so fucking boring. You can also just run past all the enemies. The story. This is the one with the spoilers. This is by far the most incomplete, confusing, and non-productive story that I have ever played in a game. To start things off, you are a soldier trying to look for a family of billionaires who have been lost on an island for 31 weeks. And as you and another helicopter fly into the island, you get shot down by someone on the island, and once you crash down, it's up to you to now uncover the supernatural secrets of the island, and for you to escape the cannibalized remote land with your son. Oh shit, my bad. Sorry, I was going into the plot about the forest, because they're the same exact story! It gets so much worse though, as once you're on your own, the only way to know more about the plot is through notes that usually have 1 to 2 sentences on it, exactly like the first game. Did End Night Games just not try with the plot? I don't understand what the fuck this is. Anyways, the stories start to change up towards the end of the game. Once going into a part of the facility that has the key to the final area, you see a cutscene of 2 guys fighting a mutant, in which I think these 2 guys are supposed to be your companions, but End Night didn't fucking add them, so let's go. I have no clue who these people are, with the 3 of you being ambushed by the same person who took down your helicopter, as well as him being accompanied by half a dozen other mercenaries that you never see again. Like, who are these people? What the fuck is happening? I don't understand any of it. And then it gets even better, because once you go to the final area, you have to run through a lava-filled cave, and then you win. Yup, literally run through one last linear cave, then you see the insane power of the power cube that I think turned inhabitants of the island into mutants, and then you get the choice to leave on a rescue chopper or to stay on the island forever. No final boss, no lead up to the rescue, no context given on the main antagonist or unknown companions, no explanation on what the fuck this Cyberpunk 2077 city is, nothing. This ending just happens, and it is more than disappointing. Overall, this game is obviously not finished. The game is in very early access, which was planned months ago and not 3 weeks before launch, like how I said in my previous upload for this video. Yeah, I'm taking that fat L on this one. But I am still disappointed about Sons of the Forest, not even mainly because of it being unfinished and unpolished. I do now think that once the game is fully complete, it'll probably be amazing to play. Instead, right now, as of this video's release, Sons of the Forest does not feel like a sequel, but rather just The Forest reskinned. Same concept, same story, same intro, same cave system, everything. Well, not mostly everything. The newer features like the sled, the companions, the building system, all of those features are so fucking cool to explore, but aren't just there or complete or apparent enough to make this sequel stand out from its predecessor. I do hope that this game gets fully expanded on. I feel as if, as of right now, there is something to make Sons of the Forest the greatest survival game to ever exist, but as of right now, this is just disappointing. But what did you all think of the game? Did you all like it, hate it, are you excited for its full release? Let me know in the comments below. But other than that, thank you all so much for watching. If you guys like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll end this video here. Bye for now.